Like most Japanese cars, the paintwork of the Toyota Avensis 3 is delicate. As a result, chips and scratches appear on the body very quickly. But thanks to gut anti-corrosion treatment, the metal staunchly resists the onslaught of the red disease. One of the disadvantages of the body is its poor agility, which, in most cases, squeaks appear when driving on the rough roads. If we talk about the reliability of diesel engines, then in general they do not cause any special problems, up to 250,000 kilometers, but only on condition that the car is filled with only high-quality fuel. Gasoline engines very rarely bother their owners with breakdowns. Of the shortcomings that are inherent in these power units, we can only highlight a couple of nuisances. Difficult start. With the advent of cold weather, the starter reactor freezes. Also, on most instances, the cooling system pump fails quite often, about once every 50,000 kilometers. At first glance, the problem is insignificant, but most Toyota Avensis 3 owners very rarely look under the hood and do not notice when the pump starts to leak. Over time, this leads to significant antifreeze leaks, overheating of the car, and burnout of the cylinder block gasket. All gasoline engines are equipped with a timing chain drive. This unit is quite reliable and does not cause any problems for 200–250,000 kilometers. Of the feature of servicing gasoline engines, it is worth noting that the manufacturer recommends using a very low viscosity 0W20 oil, which you are unlikely to find on the market or in a regular auto parts store. If you use a higher viscosity oil, this can adversely affect the reliability and life of the motor. The distributed injection system allows you to equip a car with LPG without negative consequences. However, Toyota Avensis 3 engines are demanding on the accuracy of fuel dosing, therefore, the best option would be to install LPG equipment with the sequential injection. Operating experience has shown that the transmission is not a strong point of the car and has a number of disadvantages. The disadvantages of mechanics include increased noise, especially in first gear. After restyling, this drawback was eliminated. Many owners blame the fuzzy gear shifting. The reason for this feature is the unsuccessful design of the release bearing. Also, mechanics are demanding for timely maintenance, and if these requirements are neglected, then after 150,000 kilometers, a major overhaul of the box may be required. Things are much worse with the variator. This type of transmission is afraid of heavy loads and slippage, plus it has a short resource, 120–170,000 kilometers, depending on operating conditions and quality of servicing. If the variator fails, you will have to pay almost half the cost of the used car, about $3,000 for its replacement. You can try to restore it in a garage service station from $1,000, but it's hard to say how long the box will last after such a repair. This model is based on a platform with independent suspension. McPherson struts are installed in front and a longitudinal beam with the double transverse levers. Many owners praise the Avensis 3 chassis for performance and reliability. Of course, there are also weaknesses, but in general, the chassis of this car has a good resource. So, for example, ball bearings and wheel bearings run 100–120,000 kilometers. Shock absorbers, thrust bearings and silent blocks with careful operation can last up to 150,000 kilometers. But there are complaints about the reliability of the steering. Even at a low mileage, knocks appear in the steering rack, wear bushings. Also, the wear of the spline connection can be the cause of knocking. The steering column needs to be replaced. The problem repeats after 50–60,000 kilometers. Also, brake calipers can serve as a resource of extraneous knocks. To eliminate the drawback, disassembly and lubrication of the guides is required. Unfortunately, the Toyota Avensis 3 interior cannot boast of either the capacity or the quality of the finishing materials. Also, the design of the front panel and the level of sound insulation do not cause delight. The disadvantages of the cabin include insufficiently comfortable front seats. They are very small. Because of this, it will be difficult for a large person to sit comfortably in them. As for the reliability of electrical equipment, a couple of points can be distinguished here. After 100,000 kilometers, failures in the air circulation system in the cabin are possible. Also, the airbag malfunction indicator may spontaneously work. After diagnosis, it turned out that the airbag were in order. If you are the owner of this car model, please describe the problems that you had to face during the operation of the car. Perhaps it is your review that will help readers of our site when choosing a car.